Parkville Cemetery, located in Melbourne, was established on the 1st of June 1853. Over 300,000 souls have been buried there, still continuing to this day, with over 100 acres of land. This was to replace the cemetery at now the Queen Victoria Market. 10,000 souls are still resting underneath the car park and market to this day.
My name is Reese here from the Inquisitive Cat channel. If you have not seen my channel before, I'm actually going to see my relatives. I've never been here before at this cemetery, so this is going to be a little bit of a treat. Let's go. This is the cemetery. To this day, people are still being buried here. I didn't think people were being buried here. I thought that was it. They're not burying people, but people are still getting buried. Yeah. Some of the tombstones are broken. Some people have been trying to get into, which is really bad. Some people are breaking some of the stuff here. Terrible. Stealing the wrought iron, some of these metal thieves. You can see the damage. I always frown upon this. People go around and they've destroyed all the metal from there. They've stolen it, and there's down there someone's sort of broken in there and tried to get in there to steal probably the bones and stuff like that. It's pretty terrible. Very, very terrible people around here doing stuff like that. And I would really think someone's knocked this stuff down. But at the same time, some people, some of these stones probably due to age and that collapse, but they really need to pull their finger out and do some repairs to this stuff here. I wouldn't mind doing a paranormal session here, but they lock it up over a certain time. But I think they do some like paranormal stuff, not just a grave walk and all that, but some might think it's distasteful communicating with people, the dead and all that. But when I do my sessions, I always ask permission for them to come through. So if they want to come through, they can come through. If they don't want to, they don't have to speak and say anything. But I'm going to do another session at the Oakley Cemetery. Every now and then I'll go there. I always get one of the spirits always tells me to get out. So as in life, there's always one grumpy person, so a grumpy spirit. But I am trying to find one of my relatives. It was my mother's, I think it was her auntie that passed away. And two sons were killed in World War I, fighting in France, I think from Mals. And the other one died in... I got a feeling something bad happened to one of those that guy. I got a bad vibe. I think he did something to himself. I can feel something. The guy did something to himself. It was strange. I had this really overwhelming feeling. Indian guy, and God rest his soul. See, I think people trying to get in there. But we are going down. My mother told me that far right end is my relative, and dedicated to two sons that lost their lives in World War I. As I said, there's a broke. I think a little bit of time, but who knows? Maybe someone got in there, but maybe just the time, the age. Unfortunately, concrete doesn't hold themselves forever, I guess. But I do wish that they do make an effort to fix this up. It's very sad. There's a sort of kind of recent flowers and all that. But I really do, it's come over. Bless their souls. And just to let you know, I don't make fun. See, here that's come off, broken off. So I think it's just age and time. Nothing lasts forever, unfortunately. So it's all here, but when they start going missing, people start stealing, the metal and all that for scrap. And whoever takes the metal and accepts it, they know this is from graves and stuff like that. And that's a abomination to do something like that. So you can see here, I just wish, I feel sad, here, that nothing's looked after. Like over there too, it's damaged. And look, people have forgotten. When you're gone, you're forgotten. That generation, once that generation's gone, no one sort of kind of remembers you. That's why a lot of people decide to get cremated. You can always remember people, I guess, in life, what they did and all that sort of stuff. But unfortunately, people get forgotten, neglected, and you can see the deterioration and the breakdown, which is quite sad. And no one really upkeeps the people, unfortunately. So we've got the Asian section here, Chinese. I did a video of that's an old one. You can just tell. I did a paranormal investigation at the cemetery. Now I've got some unplayed videos I did a couple of years ago, footage. So I might come back to that and have a look at it and replay. I've got a whole lot here and there of footage at the cemetery, but I did do at the Chinese cemetery in Beechworth. Check that out. It's quite interesting. They actually do speak, and you can hear the voices come through. I'm fairly good in communicating with spirits, and I enjoy doing it. Because what I find, these people, some of them didn't get to say anything, what they wanted to say before they passed. So I give them a chance to speak. There's a 1882. As a kid, we used to love going to the cemeteries and just wonder and ponder of what the life they used to live and what happened to them and stuff like that. Sometimes you find children that passed away and it's quite sad, but we'd come as family and would spend half a day, at some of the cemeteries. We found it really fascinating, and I just love the history and how long these people have been here, you know what I mean? So, absolutely amazing. So there, I'm just going to, how's that? That's better. The zoom was too much, so excuse me for that. There's someone there. Yeah, all that. Got some very interesting. This is someone of importance. Francis. Killed in France, 1918. There's a lot of dedication, so a lot of the soldiers probably didn't come back from World War I, but there's a dedication of them who died and are remembered for fighting for their country. We're going to go down. Yeah, I've actually never been here before. Quite interesting. I didn't realise how big it is. But hopefully I find my relative, and I got my car parked for about 2 hours, so I should have enough time anyway. But mate, you can see how far it is. It's a long way. I'm working on some more spirit channeling. As I said, I'm going to do some more live videos, just to show you that what I do is genuine and there's no Mickey Mouse stuff. I don't add anything to create some illusion that it's real but it's fake, but all my stuff is real. That's why I do the live sessions, to show that there's no playing around, no adjusting, no creating stuff. When I replay, I slow down some of the audio and you can actually hear these spirits speak to me. When I ask the questions, they answer. Richard Ramirez is the latest one I'm working on, and Ned Kelly. I'm going to show you the captures that I captured over the years with Ned Kelly, and spirits that are connected or at the same area come through at the same time while communicating with Ned Kelly, believe it or not. He's probably the one of a few that I keep communicating like they're easier. I think fairly easy to communicate. Him and his family. Chopper, Mark Brandon Reed. Someone told me off that did have a connection with Mark Brandon Chopper Reed. Said he didn't like that, but when I do my spirit session, it's all in sort of like jokes and all that, and just good humour. So he knows that I'm only sort of joking and not trying to mock him, Chopper. So he's an interesting character. I am going to do, I keep saying this, but it will happen, a one-on-one session with Chopper, and it might be the last one that I do. So some things I might sort of end up finishing off for the last time and not re-investigating or communicating, because I think that's enough. But I will ask them when I finish that if they would like to communicate again, and I'll let them voice their yes or no, whatever they like. It's up to them. I always ask permission for the spirits to speak. If they want to speak, they can, as I said before. But it's pretty cool. I find it fascinating. I love the history. All these people had a life. They all were a part of something. They had a family too. They once lived. They cried. They laughed. They joked. They all were like us once upon a time, And one day we'll be here too, or we'll pass on, and another generation will come through and wonder what lives these people had back in the day. If I just show you, I'll try to zoom out a bit. I think that's better. Sorry, I sort of zoomed too hard before. While I'm talking to you, I had a strange thing happen when I was doing repairs. I sort of repair mannequins and rent them out and stuff like that, but I had some very interesting things happen. Let's go down here. I had some very interesting things happen the other day when I was doing the repairs. I looked up in the sky and there was this like bird-like plane thing in the sky, but the problem was there was no sound. It wasn't actually a bird. I thought it might have been a pelican or something, but it was actually huge. It was massive. It wasn't flapping its wings. It was just gliding in the air. It definitely wasn't a bird. It wasn't a drone. It wasn't a plane. It wasn't a glider. But there was no sound, and I was watching it, and then it disappeared. I actually captured that, and I'm going to post that up as well. I don't know. Something caught my attention. And sometimes I can sort of hone in on some things. They sort of like are around and I can just hone in on it. At the moment with our house, we actually have been having, how could you say, I don't know, would you say demonic? But something's happening in our house. You can believe it or don't believe it, but I'm just telling you what's actually happening. My wife in bed, she was saying she was lying down and there was a very foul smell. Like she said, it was like a corpse. And I know what that means. When you a foul smell like a corpse, that means there is something negative, something bad, something evil that is around. So I'm going to get some sage, and I'm going to do, my wife's actually at work, so we're going to do a little bit of a session, I reckon, tonight in my place to see what it is, what's going on, who they are. I'm going to be doing at Stephen, my friends. If you haven't seen my Stephen's house, my friend's house, I've asked permission for Stephen if I can film and put it on YouTube. So he's got like a dark entity as well. So I don't know if this thing has followed us or not, but one thing I can tell you, my wife was saying we've got sensor lights along the hallway, and because we have 2 cats, but the cats weren't walking around, they were all asleep. Okay, so just to let you know there, it's not the cats that triggered. They actually went off, the sensors went off. There was none of the cats were there. So there's some form of energy that's there. See, these are the sort of telltale signs that there is something there. A spirit energy entity produces all that. There's a breakage there. It came down pretty hard. Shit, it was... but spirits can produce energy, so they can trigger things as well. How this happens, only it's hard to know. I don't think anyone's got an explanation when it comes to something like that. They got theories, but who knows? But I think when we leave our body, energy goes, and that energy continues, somewhere else. It's like popping, you could say popping, those packaging, with the air pockets. You push that, but when you push that air, you push that out, but that goes somewhere else. You know what I mean? It just doesn't disappear. It actually moves somewhere else. It goes somewhere else. And we, as energy, if we go, energy goes somewhere else. So yeah. Interesting. I think there might be something going on there. So we're gonna. Oh, they've got a cemetery. I'm gonna just turn off for now because there is actually a service going, and I want to be respectful and not like film, because it's not something I want to film and respect. So I'm going to turn off for now, and we're going to walk a bit, and I'll turn it back on later, and yeah, we'll go from there. So I'll leave it here at the moment, and I'll be back shortly. Now, I got told it's near the corner on the right-hand side, so I'm going on the right-hand side. I cannot see anything yet. It's supposed to be a big tree. I can't, to be honest. There's one big tree over that side there, but I can't see any big tree. This is more of a Greek area. I cannot find my relatives. There was an office area, but it looked like it was closed, so I couldn't sort of reach out and find out where my relatives are. Antonio Giuseppe, so more of an Italian, Greek. Let's go down here. But my mum said it was, oh shit, so muddy. Nothing here, Catherine Lee. Nothing here, Mary. Antonio. Nothing here. It's right at the end, but I can't see anything, to be honest. To be perfectly honest. Alright, we'll keep walking and we'll see if we can see there. There's a Kelly. There's a Kelly. TL Can't see anything. Nothing here, Ernest. Adolf. Yeah, my mother said there's a big tree. Look, there's no big tree on the right-hand side that I can see. I finally found my relatives. Now, right here, with instructions from my auntie, she told me, she took a photo and sent it to me, so I was looking for this particular cross and the background here to match, and sure enough, I found my relatives. Now, you know, the funny thing is, I got a connection with Ned Kelly, and I've been connecting to Ned Kelly. Now, I wonder if our relatives are connected to Ned Kelly. Right here, we've got Albert Kelly. He was killed in Gallipoli. That would have been 1915. And we've got Leo Kelly, who died in France. So, and there's the mother as well, Hannah, and there's Lavina, who passed away in 1959. So these are my family members here, and I'm just going to say Lavina or Leo Kelly or Albert Kelly. This is Reese here. I'm your relative. Yeah.
Though we did not meet each other physically, we are connected spiritually, and I am so glad I finally met my relatives. It means a lot, and I'll be back, and I'm going to clean up the headstone. To the young men who died fighting for their country, lest we forget.
Finally, after some detective work and help from my auntie, I was able to locate my relatives, which is really good. I've always wanted to do that. It's a bit of relief too. I always wanted to meet them one day, and finally I got to do that. So if I ever come back here, I'll come back and we'll clean up the actual headstone. I'll clean it up. But amazing. But I'll leave it here. This is Reese from the Inquisitive Cat channel, signing off. Bye bye.